Can you actually spend under $100 here on Fremont Street? Today, I am putting that to the test. In today's episode, we'll be hunting down food, drinks, entertainment, even some gambling here on Fremont Street, all for under $100. Let's hit it. Whenever people think about Las Vegas, they immediately picture the Strip. But honestly, I spend a lot of my time downtown. It has some of the oldest casinos in the city, live entertainment every single night, incredible people watching, and if you know where to look, some surprisingly good deals. So I have exactly $100 and everything we do has to fit under that budget. But one of my favorite things about Fremont Street is that everything is so close together, so you can really do a whole bunch of stuff. Let's start by doing one of the first thing you should do when you get to Las Vegas. You have to fuel up with some food. We're here at the historic Binion's Hotel and Casino, right in the middle of Fremont Street, and I heard there's a pretty great deal inside here. Binion's has been a part of downtown Las Vegas for decades. Originally opened as Binion's Horseshoe in 1951 by Benny Binion. This hotel helped shape what Fremont Street looks like today. But walking through these doors, you definitely get that feeling of old school classic Vegas right away. The decor is definitely old school. It's one of those places that reminds you what Vegas looked like long before the mega resorts took over the Strip. It isn't trying to be flashy, it just feels like old Vegas. Low ceilings, dark floor, and even some ghost tales. But tucked inside of the casino is Binion's Cafe. This is the kind of cafe that you would expect in a downtown hotel. It's small, but it is fast, it's comfortable, it's casual, and it's fitting for today's video because it is affordable. But I'm here for one thing, and you cannot order it from the menu. You have to be in the know. This is the Lucky 7 special. It is a pulled pork sandwich special for $7.77, and you get all of this included. So you'll get a sandwich piled high with a 12-hour smoked pulled pork, also a side of crispy fries, and it even comes with a fountain drink. I wasn't expecting much for that price, but the pulled pork is actually pretty tender. Also, the barbecue adds a nice sweetness to it, but it's smoky. It really does have that smoky flavor. I think it's going to be pretty filling too. I've actually stayed here before. They have the adjacent Apache Hotel, and that's where they have all the haunted ghost stories. This is supposed to be one of the most haunted spots in Las Vegas. I'll be doing a little bit of a tally of how much we have left or how much we spent. One of those. I am going to give myself a little bit of grace with the total for taxes and tip. So we're going to go with the total before that, though I have a feeling I'll still be either right on budget or maybe slightly over if I did include that. But for the case of this video, no taxes, no tip included. And for our next stop, we are literally just heading right across the way inside of the Golden Nugget. One thing I always recommend is taking the time to walk through the different casinos and hotels here in downtown. Some of them completely feel like you're walking into old Las Vegas, and some of them have been absolutely renovated and some are completely new. The Golden Nugget is probably one of the nicest resorts on Fremont Street, especially for a resort that opened back in 1946. One of the multiple things you can do for free here on Fremont Street is check out the multiple items on display, like the Hand of Faith, but I have shown you guys that before. We're here inside of the Golden Nugget for another quote-unquote hidden gem, but tucked inside you'll find a little dessert shop called the Chocolate Box. So this place specializes in handmade desserts, chocolate-covered treats, cookies, pastries, and cupcakes. A whole bunch of different kinds of chocolates too. I actually have had their chocolates before. They're really, really tasty. What I like about this spot is that it doesn't feel mass-produced, and they have multiple flavors. The reason why we're here today, these cupcakes are only $5. They had a couple of items there for even less than $5, but I feel like this is going to be the better deal because look at the size of this cupcake. You can also go to Pink Box where you can get a donut for probably $3, $4, but I've shown you guys that before. I'm trying to show you some new deals in this video, but if you want more ideas, you can get over to my Cheap Eats video, which I think I've got multiple of now. Frosting piled high, even got a little decor on it. They had chocolate, red velvet, and this is the carrot cake. The frosting is sweet. That is one heck of a layer. but the cake itself is very moist. And for $5, I mean, honestly, it's really heavy, and 100% is shareable because that is a whole lot of frosting, a whole lot of sweetness. So we've eaten, we've had a dessert, and somehow we've only spent about $13. But I think it's time to spend the biggest chunk of today's budget. So the SlotZilla zipline has a special right now, and Monday through Friday from 12 until 5 p.m. you can do the zipline for $25. And you can also do the Zoom line, which takes you all the way down Fremont Street for $50. If you've ever seen Fremont Street, you've probably seen the people flying over it. This is the SlotZilla zipline, and it's probably one of the most iconic things to do right here on Fremont Street. It launches you from a giant slot machine inspired tower and sends you flying over the entire street. You've got two options here. You can do a lower zip line where you're seated and it goes about halfway down Fremont, or you can do the full experience where you're flying superhero style down the entire length. I've done this once before during the nighttime, and I wanted to try it during the day, especially if we're doing a video about doing Fremont Street. You gotta include the zip line. You forget how high it is until you're up here and you're looking out. It's a little intimidating. Oh, here we go. Oh God. Oh. Yikes. The Superman line will launch you from over 100 feet in the air, and it lies you flat like you're flying, and then it sends you the entire length of Fremont Street. So you're flying over a crowd of people, street performers, live music, and a ceiling of lights that's constantly changing above you. You're moving fast enough that the crowd kind of just blurs together, but you can still see everything. Bars, stages, people waving, and the canopy lighting right above you. And like an expressway to get all the way down the street. That was actually fun doing it during the daytime versus the night. I feel like at the night, it was so much to take in. Maybe it was the fact that it was my second time doing it, but I was able to kind of look around, and I guess I knew what to expect this time, but that was a lot of fun. And then being the daytime, there's not as many people, so Eddie and I had the line pretty much to ourselves. I think we got some good footage. Definitely something you gotta do while you're here on Fremont Street. It's time for another bite to eat, and just a block away from the Fremont Street experience sits the Downtown Grand. This hotel opened in 2013 after a complete redevelopment of the old Lady Luck Casino, giving this corner of downtown a much more modern feel. But hidden inside is a favorite budget-friendly deal here in downtown. For just $3, cash only, you get a hot dog, a Nathan's Famous hot dog, and also a Pabst Blue Ribbon. And this isn't just a small 12 ounce, this is 16 ounces. It looks like you can put different condiments on it. There is ketchup, mustard, you also have sauerkraut, relish, jalapeno, onions, even salsa over here. Now obviously this isn't gonna be your gourmet meal, it's a hot dog and a beer, but it's available, it's gonna keep you going for the day, and it's hella cheap. Oof. I'm not much of a beer drinker, but you know, it's Pabst. I did notice while I was sitting here too, you can also do a $3 Pabst and a taco. And there's also another special where you can do a bratwurst and something that's similar to like a seltzer, and that was $5. A little bit of an upgrade there. Something I love about Las Vegas is you can get all kinds of food and all kinds of experiences. You have the gourmet steakhouses even in downtown. They have some really great cocktail lounges, or you can do a really quick grab and go and not blow your budget, or even really put much of a dent in it at all. This is the Golden Gate Hotel and Casino, one of the oldest casinos in Las Vegas. And somehow it's one of those places that is a really fun way to start your night. Golden Gate Casino has been here since 1906. So when you step into this casino, you're basically stepping into a piece of Las Vegas history. But the inside feels like that perfect mix of vintage Vegas and just enough chaos. We're here for something called The Night Starts Here. Every night, the Golden Gate turns into one of the best pregame spots in downtown. You can get free drinks. That's right, absolutely free, and you do not have to be a hotel guest in order to get it. At 4 p.m., you can go to their rewards desk, and basically you're gonna grab a wristband here, and that's gonna give you access to the event for the night. So starting at 6 o'clock for a full hour, they have an open bar at their Bar Prohibition. Bar Prohibition is tucked right inside the casino. They're serving up seltzers, beers, well drinks during that 1 hour open bar. We waited about 20 minutes. We got in line exactly at 6 o'clock. You can get 2 drinks at once. So each person can grab 2 drinks. And then they give you an envelope that contains a certain amount of money, up to $1,000, that you can use for slot pay. I got $5. Eddie got the big bucks. Eddie got $10. Now, I would recommend coming early so you can get in line at 4 o'clock to go to the rewards desk. We did that at about 4:20, I think. We waited about 20 minutes, but when we arrived at 6 o'clock, there was still a line for that, and it went almost all around the casino. There are 3 lines for the bar. So if you come down a little bit more, like heading towards the lobby, there's a couple more lines, and they're a little shorter. And while we're here inside of the Golden Gate, there's one more thing that you should not walk past. And if you've been to downtown before, or if you're familiar with it at all, this might look completely different. For many years, Sigma Derby has been one of the most iconic attractions at the D Las Vegas. But just recently, it found a brand new home right here inside of the Golden Gate. So Sigma Derby isn't a slot machine at all. It's a vintage mechanical horse racing game where players gather around a miniature racetrack and they bet on which horse they think they will win. Unlike modern casino games where you usually just sit by yourself, this is incredibly social. They are extremely slow, so your quarter can go a long way. Basically, you have to pick between who's going to come in first and second. So you got these choices here. I don't know, I'm going to, let's say 2 and 5. 5's up there. Go, 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 go. Round in the corner. 3 and 5. So you can see how slow they go. You can spend quite a bit of time just doing a quarter at a time. Definitely a fun game. And there's always people around. Actually, when we came up, there wasn't a spot to sit. We had to wait a little while. 3 and 5 again? 3 and 5 just won. All right. Oh, well, Frank's creeping up. What? Hey. See, Eddie's my good luck charm. We just won. It was a bit crowded, so I couldn't film too much. Of course, it's the casino floor as well. We spent $10, but we did win a little bit of money, so probably $5 on that. I didn't count how many quarters came out of that machine just now, but I think about $5, so even better. Straight ahead is the Fremont Street experience. You just cross the street and you now are on the Fremont East District. We've got tons of amazing restaurants, tons of amazing bars, and one of my favorite pizza spots. One place that almost always comes up when someone asks me where to grab a slice of pizza, it's Evil Pie. Evil Pie first opened in 2011, and it's easily become one of the most recognizable spots for a slice of pizza here on Fremont Street. But from the moment you walk in, you notice it's not your typical pizza shop. This place definitely has its own personality. It has a gritty punk rock atmosphere that fits perfectly here on Fremont East. Quite a few different options. You can do, for instance, a Maui Wowie, $6.75. A $4.20 pie, looks like that one's vegan. So they're special here for $8. You get a slice of cheese, and that is definitely a big slice of cheese. And you also get a beer. The beer here was their blonde ale. Better than the Pabst Blue Ribbon, I can tell you that. This is actually pretty good. I feel like the bread here is nice and crispy. It has such a really great balance of cheese, sauce, and crust. I also love that this place doesn't feel like a chain. It's kind of a more locals, a spot where the bartenders, the DJs, most people end up late night. Just the other day, it was a Saturday night, about 11 o'clock, Eddie and I tried to come here, but the line was out to the door and down a few businesses. It's a pretty popular spot, but You can see why. I'm honestly surprised at how much that we've been able to do. We've eaten multiple times, we've had drinks, we've done one of the biggest attractions on Fremont Street, and we're still under budget. So here's the thing, maybe you didn't make it to that open bar happy hour over at the Golden Gate, or you're just looking for something a little bit more low-key, a little bit chill. This is the Fremont Hotel and Casino right in the middle of Fremont Street, and inside is the Filament Bar. And this is one of those hidden in plain sight spots that offers a really great deal on a Red Bull and vodka. For just $7, you can get a pretty hefty size Red Bull and vodka. Yes, Red Bull and vodka. Those are normally maybe $15 at the least. I mean, if you're on the strip, it's probably $20. But here, inside of the Fremont Hotel, $7. It keeps you going all night. And I like that it's not just a happy hour. It's all the time when they're open. Of course, they open at 4 o'clock. Then it goes to late night. But Red Bull vodka was my choice of drink when I was younger, but it was Kettle One. I don't know why I was so specific when I was younger and I didn't go with well drinks. In that polka dot bikini, girl. Hey, Red Bull does a really good job at covering up the spirit though. I think that was why I liked it a lot when I was younger. That and because I needed the energy. I need the energy more now actually. Now there is only one way to end a day here on Fremont Street. And flash forward to a different day. One of the best things about downtown Las Vegas is the entertainment. You guys know that they do free concerts every single night on multiple stages on the Fremont Experience, but during the summer they hold a downtown rock series where there's actually some really big names on the lineup. Tonight, Sleeping with Sirens is playing an absolutely free concert. And my emo heart is kind of freaking out right now. I am so excited about this. I've seen Sleeping with Sirens a few times and I have definitely dropped a pretty penny on those concerts. But during the Downtown Rock Series, 100% for free. That is crazy, you guys. Don't say that Las Vegas doesn't have free stuff because we got free drinks and a free concert. So they already had Fuel, Finger 11, and then we've got today Sleeping with Sirens, Mayday Parade, Story of the Year, Carly Pierce, and The Used with Maggie. Okay, obviously you know which bands I know, but this is crazy. Free.
So I can't play the music on my YouTube channel, so wrapping it up here, but they hold concerts throughout the year from rock, alternative to country, throwbacks, bands and performers across multiple genres. I've seen Mighty Mighty Bosstones once here and Taking Back Sunday a whole different year, so there's almost always something happening.
We played quite a few shows, but I gotta say that every time we come to Vegas, the crowd is harder and tougher and more.
But it's so cool because you're just standing in the middle of Fremont Street with live music, lights above you, a full crowd super excited around you. And with how much concert tickets are these days, getting a room downtown with one of your favorite bands is playing on the lineup is probably cheaper. Definitely one of the few places where you can get this kind of experience, especially free.
So it turns out you can definitely do Fremont Street for under $100. I love that it's all walkable too. You don't need an Uber, you don't need to walk 20 minutes to get to the next spot. And if this video was helpful, please hit that thumbs up because that helps out my channel. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I do things in Las Vegas, but also the surrounding areas. I'd love for you to join me and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.